We're here with what I consider some really good news. As you know, on January the 6th, we had a very violent triple homicide, and it was supposed to be a quadruple homicide. 3 people were executed. They were shot in the head at close range. The 4th person was shot in the head, more specifically the face, and left for dead, only he didn't die. It was our belief at that time, and our preliminary information substantiates that they were here to collect a drug debt, that this was an organized hit, that they didn't intend to leave anyone in the house alive. Here's what we know. At about 6:44 a.m. on the 6th, these suspects, the 2 of which we're about to talk of, 2 of at least 4 were at the residence or either orchestrated the event. They went in, there was conversation. It went from conversation to one of our victims saying, "But I paid Uncle, I paid him," to we heard a beating and a fight and then gunshots. Now you would think at the end of the gunshots that the people would run out and take off. Not these folks. They were obviously experienced. They spent another 10 or 15 minutes in the house rummaging around after they shot and killed, absolutely slaughtered and executed our 3 victims. Our detectives immediately started to work. We found initially from a business in the close vicinity a video clip of a van leaving. It looked like a work van. The detectives worked with that information. They found out that in fact it was a U-Haul rental unit. This U-Haul rental unit came from Miami, Florida at 5341 Northwest 7th Street. The vehicle was located by the Miami-Dade Police Department for us, and I can't say enough good things about the Miami-Dade Police Department, the Miami Police Department, and the Florida Highway Patrol. They worked tirelessly with us during these last days. Once we had the vehicle, we began to work on, well, who rented the vehicle? And we determined the apparent mastermind, at least at this point in the investigation, the apparent mastermind is Andrew Joseph. On the 10th of January, we were able to put enough information together to get warrants for his arrest and a search warrant for his residence. We arrested him at home the following day on the 11th of January, and we executed a search warrant there. And lo and behold, among a lot of evidence we seized from his house was a traffic citation made out to Jonathan Alcigari, a black male, 26 years of age. Our investigators, along with the detectives from the Miami Police Department or Miami-Dade Police Department, worked and gathering more evidence, tied him to the crime. We are confident that Jonathan Alcigari is one of the 3 people that actually entered the residence when the murders took place. Subsequent to putting that evidence together, we were able to obtain warrants for 3 counts of murder, home invasion, robbery, among other charges for him as well. Wouldn't you know it, when we got to his residence at 220 Northeast 44th Street in Miami, he was in a chair having his dreadlocks cut off. For some reason, he decided all of a sudden he needed a haircut. Jonathan, by the way, and Andrew are half-brothers. They're both arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. We know now that we're looking for at least 2 additional suspects. We believe those 2 additional suspects are black males. We have every reason to believe they are known associates and are from the Miami area. We know that one of the two is about 6 foot tall. He has long dreads, or at least he did, unless he's had a haircut as well. The other one's about 5'8" to 5'10", a more heavy build. We believe they are Haitian according to the information we've been provided. There's a $10,000 cash reward just for information leading to their arrest. I point that out because the people who may want to cooperate from the Miami area may go, hey, these are bad dudes, and you would be right, they are. You don't have to get involved. You don't have to give us your name. Call your local Crime Stoppers, or feel free to call our Crime Stoppers number here. You'll make $10,000 just for giving us a name that leads to the arrest of these vicious murderers. I can tell you that we've developed evidence or information. At least one of them has bragged to us that they've done this before. And on at least one other occasion, when they hit the lick, as they would say, they left no one alive in that home invasion robbery either. That's them talking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important to understand they're violent and they're dangerous. And if you're in the drug world or the drug trade in the Miami area, you may be the next one they murder if we don't get them off of the streets. They brag of hitting drug houses. They brag of murder. And it's not all just bragging, because we have a whole lot of evidence to show that not only the two that we have charged are involved in this organized murder, but two others are still out there, and they're ready to murder you for your drugs or your money if we don't get them in jail. We have substantial evidence, ladies and gentlemen, at this point. We have everything from bloody footprints to gloves to all kinds of records tying these murderers together and tying them to this scene here in Polk County. But we need your help. And they're not new to the system. Andrew Joseph has 29 previous felony arrests, 10 misdemeanor arrests. I know that comes as a shock to some of you who think those minor drug offenses aren't really serious and we shouldn't lock those people up. Well, they also commit felonies and they also commit triple murders, and there's your evidence. Joseph also has at least 6 drug charges out of Minnesota, and he's been to state prison only one time. Jonathan Alcigari, his half-brother, has 8 previous felony charges, 9 misdemeanors charges, and there are 10 charges that are listed as other because they are apparently in a different computer system and they didn't break down. But ladies and gentlemen, even though our victims were in the drug trade, even though their residence was known as a one-stop shop for drugs, make no mistake, every life is precious to us, and we will chase you to the ends of the earth. Fortunately, this time we only had to go to Miami to make the arrest. But we will do whatever is necessary to bring the others into custody. However, you can make it a lot faster for us and a lot healthier in your pocketbook for you. $10,000 cash. We don't want to know who you are. We just want to know the identity of these folks. And we know that you can help us and make a lot of money. Now, here is Jonathan's picture. This is Jonathan's picture with his new, fresh haircut. No dreads. He had these dreads when he came up here. And then there's Andrew Joseph. Andrew Joseph, he is what we believe to be at this point in the investigation the mastermind. He's the one that rented the vehicle. We have substantial evidence against both of them. They are charged each with 3 counts of murder, obviously robbery of this residence, and we need help finding them. We want to get all of them responsible in jail. The sooner the better. We are going to find them. And here's a message. If you're some of the other suspects saying, well, at least they don't have my name yet. No, and we didn't have their name yet a few days ago either. We're coming after you. Our colleagues from Miami-Dade and the Miami Police Department are coming after you. We're going to find you. We're going to put you in prison for the rest of your lives. Don't sleep well.
Sheriff, you said Jonathan L. Gary was one of 3 that went into the house. The 2 that you're looking for, are those the other 2 that went into the house? And where was Andrew Joseph, and was he uncle?
We believe that Andrew Joseph may very well have been uncle.
Was he in Miami?
At this point in the investigation. They're all from Miami. But we're not releasing as part of the investigation who all we think were at what station in the investigation, whether they were in the van, stayed in the van, they were the driver, or in the house.
2 more things. You don't know who the gunman is or gunmen?
We're not releasing the information that we have as to who the trigger person may be.
And what's the deal with the vans?
The van is the vehicle that he leased, and that's photographs, and the one that you can see, we've blurred one out, and because it's important that he's blurred out right now. But the other one that you see, that's one of the people that we need help identifying. And we know that there may be another one in addition to him, at least one other, could be more. We're not sure how big of a nest we're into because we haven't dug to the bottom of this investigation.
Sheriff, how is Felix Campos, and how important is he to this investigation and identifying these individuals?
Felix Campos was shot in the face and significantly injured. The good news is he's going to recover. He is in shock. He is in guarded condition now outside of the hospital, and we wish he were able to be more cooperative than he is.
Sheriff, do you think anything was being hauled in that U-Haul, or did they just use it for transport of awful people?
I'm certain that U-Haul was hauling murderers that night, and that's the rest of that's under investigation.
Sheriff, can you elaborate more on how they admitted to you that they've gone into other houses and murdered people and not left anyone in any recent examples of cases?
The information that was provided to us was that at least one of this gang of murderers bragged on how they hit drug houses, how they ripped off drug houses. And one of them said, and at least one instance, we left everybody in the house dead. That conversation occurred before this event occurred, which leads us to believe that if they were telling the truth and not just bragging, there's at least one other event like this someplace. But interestingly enough, make no mistake about it, these rascals will shoot you and they'll kill you. They will execute you, and they will beat you before they do that. You know, for those that thinks there's some bravado to this, for those that think there is bravado, how much bravado is there to shoot a woman in the head? And they viciously murdered 2 women. So if any of you are in the drug business out there and you have any moxie or you're any kind of a man, you won't accept them murdering innocent women by executing them and shooting them in the head.
Sheriff, there's clearly a guy in the white van. Is there not someone in the car as well, and could that be the same person?
The car is the vehicle that the troopers stopped about the 27th or 28th of December on the way back to Miami. We know there were frequent trips between David, our victim, and Miami and these folks up here. That's the vehicle that was stopped by the trooper where the citation was entered. So that's one person. We have a very good picture of the one person in the van, and that's the folks. That's at least one or both of the folks we need initial identifications for.
So the folks in the drug house were getting their drugs from the bigger syndicate in Miami?
We don't know where all they were getting their drugs from, but we know that there were frequent trips back and forth. Both the Miami representatives coming up here and certainly David Washington going down there with some of his associates to pick up drugs. But we don't care whether you're a drug dealer or not. We're not going to stand for anybody murdering you. We want those people in jail. And quite frankly, they'll murder again if we don't lock them up.
Sheriff, to be clear, the individual in the van that we can see and the one pictured here in the lower right of the sedan, those are the individuals you're still looking for?
That may be one and the same person because the sedan picture is not very good, or it may be two separate people.
But either way, you're still looking.
We're looking for them, and we believe there may be at least another one or two in addition to that. All right, thank you very much for being with us, and if you will get with your Miami affiliates, we really, really, really need this data in Miami because that's who's going to be able to tell us who they are. Thank you very much.